performances.
Celia, you're breaking my heart, you're shaking my confidence, baby. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees, I'm begging you please to come on now. Making love in the afternoon with Cecilia up in my bedroom. I got up to wash my face. When I come back to bed, someone's taking my place. When I come back to bed, someone's taking my place now.
Another classic track from the Bridge Over Troubled Water album, still proving as popular as ever today. But Paul Simon has made a variety of changes throughout his career, from his earliest recording days when he and Art Garfunkel recorded under the not surprisingly short-lived name of Tom and Jerry. Since then, of course, they achieved worldwide success with the classic ballads Paul wrote for the duo throughout the 60s and early 70s. And although he's only lately been publicly acclaimed for his work with African and South American music, those influences, it seems, go back a lot further than Graceland, to his childhood in New York.
The U.S. being a multicultural society anyway, and New York in particular, there was a lot of different music that you could hear. And my father was a musician and a band leader. And he would play sometimes at this dance hall in New York called Roseland. And his band was kind of a straight American band, but he would alternate with a Latin band. So I heard that when I was very young. Early rock and roll had a lot of different cultural influences. The music from Louisiana in particular is very much in the tradition of the Caribbean music and directly connected to West African. Now, I mean, I didn't know that when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, but I did really like that music and those rhythms.
But though he may still be playing music he likes, one dramatic change Paul has made is his approach to performing, seeming, even in rehearsal, to be enjoying it much more than previously.
Well, coming out of the 60s, which was the last time that I really performed, constantly, Artie and I, of course, the show was, two voices and one guitar, and we stood in front of the microphones and we sang the songs, and the show was about how well the voices blended and sang those songs. And then in the 70s, I didn't perform that much. When my son was growing up, I didn't go away from home too much. And I didn't really join up with a really rhythm-oriented show until Graceland. When I, began to try and force myself to move, but I was embarrassed to do that because, as I say, I came out of this tradition where musicians really didn't dance. They played. It was performers who danced. But now, I'm trying to just get a little bit looser with it and dance a little bit more, and be a little bit more aware of the audience.
Well, you can guarantee with his standards and his variety of styles, the audience remain very aware of him. But what will his next venture be? He says he's finishing a musical he's been working on, but then what? He's been to Africa and South America, a trip to another country perhaps, or a return to his traditional ballad style.
I would be more inclined towards doing that, just because it's so out of fashion to write ballads with interesting chord changes. I go to what I think is interesting and what I like, and I don't think beyond that. That's what you're supposed to do when you make music. You're supposed to do the music that you really like, that you're interested in, that you feel. So whatever it is, that will be the Criterion, that I really respond to it on some you know, visceral way.
Well, whatever style he decides on, it's bound to be worth a listen. Meanwhile, let's end with one of his biggest hits, and the thought that, even for a superstar, it can't be easy remembering the words to all your songs.
A man walks down the street, he says, oh, why am I I forgot the word. If you'd be my bodyguard, I could be your long lost pal. I could call you Betty, Betty, when you call me, you can call me out.
Little piece of history there. That's probably the only time you'll ever see someone like Paul Simon forgetting the words to one of his best-known songs.
I often wondered that.
Having said that, I've seen Frank Sinatra forget the words to his songs.
He just goes doobie doobie doo.
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Doobie doobie doo.
Daddy daddy da.